Hello, friends. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Pashchim Litcast. Our guest today is making his second appearance on our show. Author of Unbox the Power of Mindful Thinking and Chronicles of Kali, the Sacred Book of Asurs. These are the two books. One is fiction, one is non-fiction. So Prithvi is a guide to meditation. He brings you thought-provoking discussions on unlocking the secrets of the mind. Join us as we explore the intersection of ancient wisdom and modern life, discovering practical insights and timeless truths to illuminate our path towards inner peace and fulfillment. Prithvi, welcome again to Pashchim Litcast.
Oh, thank you, Manish. Thank you very much for having me over again.
And I'm so happy that you were one of the first ones when we started this podcast. And from there, where we are now, almost more than a year.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that, you are here again with some, interesting facts about your second book, which is coming. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
And I had been a huge fan of your writing, fiction and non-fiction both. And many people here in Boston metro area, they know about your writing, your coaching, which we will talk pretty soon. But how do you feel in general? Like, how is post-pandemic? You have been very busy. When your first book came, it was around pandemic time.
Correct.
But now we are half a decade.
Things have changed. First of all, thanks again for having me here. And I was really impressed by the way that you're having the podcast, right? This lit podcast. And you know what? I was surprised when my Indian friends actually reach out to me and say that, hey, have you checked this out, your interview, right? So these guys in India, so you have a good outreach actually.
Thank you so much.
And
I'm hoping so.
Yeah, it is working. It is very nice, right? And I think, the thing is that I have just one story, mindfulness. So people talk about, like, tell me what is new. I'll say, I have just one story, mindfulness. I approach it in different ways. So this is the third book actually. So the first one was Kali, Chronicles of Kali, which is my approach of actually trying to demystify the concept about mindfulness in a story format. Right, and that actually says that why mindfulness is necessary from a modern metaphorical context. Now, okay, it is necessary. So, what should I do for that? So, initially, I thought that I'll have an appendix in that, which will have exercises, which will tell, okay, guys, if you want to spare yourself from the Asurs, then do this. Right, but that book was becoming so big, so that took its own life, and then out of that, Unbox came. Right. Okay. And then, and obviously we'll cover more about it. And then obviously pandemic is important because you talk about pandemic. Because through pandemic, what we did was we conducted hundreds of workshops on the content of Unbox and mindfulness. Because earlier it was face to face, right? You could only do limited. Now with the internet, we could do workshops from India, from Europe, and we mostly focused for kids.
So let's take step by step.
Yes.
So friends, we have Prithvi's interview about his first book and his first fiction novel, Chronicles of Kali, the Secret Book of Asurs. And so you can see that if you look for it, you'll find that with that interview, and that will set a lot of context. Even if you have not watched that interview, I think this is going to be standalone, and you can still enjoy it. But I will give the link somewhere here, so you can look for it. Now, Prithvi, your first book, The Unbox. I have attended your workshops, and I have read the book. So first of all, why the second book, and how it is different than Unbox, the first one?
Sure, that's a very good question. So as I said, the Unbox was supposed to be a manual, a handbook manual of what needs to be done, right? And we had kept it mostly focused for the workshops that we conduct through the nonprofit. So it is a sort of a very, very abridged and succinct version, very thin book, if you've seen Unbox.
Can I stop you for a second? Can you give our listeners or viewers about your nonprofit? Just a brief
Sure.
online.
So we have a nonprofit. It's called Mind Gym Initiative. We can probably put in a link here. It is called unboxnation.com. So what we do is that we conduct workshops that are targeted for young adults and kids. So we have been doing this for 7 years now. So the nonprofit, the idea of nonprofit was actually it generated just 8 years from now in August of 2017.
Oh, wow.
And I have an interesting story about that. I'll probably touch on that. Right.
Okay.
So. So the whole idea was that how do we demystify this mindfulness for kids? Because in the age of digital distractions, right, where I did not say anything more, right? So I've been talking about it since 2017 and seeing my kids going through this, right? So kids need more, so to say, armor. They need some tools in their toolkit to actually handle these distractions. So that inspiration came, and that inspiration came in 2017. And we founded this. We have been conducting workshops, face-to-face workshops in the Boston area. And then in COVID, it was through Zoom. So we had a wider reach. Like it was like financially underprivileged kids in India, very well taken, right? And right up to the other end where we have really well-off parents who want their kids to understand about mindfulness. So you had the whole spectrum.
Thank you, Prithvi. I mean, that's amazing. But you were talking about some incident, right? So what was that incident which inspired you for this nonprofit?
So basically, it was in August 2017, and I know it because the picture popped in the Google thing because it's August now, right? So I was visiting Chicago, my brother, and we were visiting the Science Museum in Chicago with my son and daughter and my wife. So there is a section there on. I think it's called a mind ball game. So what you do is that there's a big table and there's a ball in the center, and you wear a headset, and the headset actually measures your EEG. It's called brain waves. So brain waves, essentially, you have different frequency for different activity. So if you're thinking, it is a different frequency. If you're relaxing, it is meditating, not basically. So then it is a different frequency. So based on that, it will pick up and it can make. Actually, the headset is. I have a headset. Headset looks something like this. Actually.
Oh,
right?
nice.
Headset is something. So you just wear it like this. You wear it like this. It actually catches your brain waves, and then actually what I thought was, this was a missing thing for a wider adoption, because if somebody can get into my head and actually really see that, okay, I'm able to calm it down or not. And this was before all these things became popular. So we can actually have some workshops for kids. And in that particular game, actually, my son beat me. I used to do meditation for 10 years, but he beat me, and he has been a meditative guy. So some people are born with it. So now we can actually do the test with. Initially, we do a small screening, and then based on that, we know that, okay, this person has a more active mind versus this already relaxed mind, or this person will need some help in actually engaging with thoughts rather than getting back from thoughts. And then those are our workshops. So I think probably there's a long-winded answer of the workshop, and anybody is interested, they can go to unboxnation.com, and I will have more details.
Prithvi, thank you so much. And again, congratulations on your initiative, your nonprofit. And it's really helpful. I mean, as I said, I have attended one of the workshops. And for young kids, it's really important, and you should check it out. Prithvi, now I come back to my question, right? So what was the need of the second book, and why, you came with the second book?
Yeah. So second book, in a summary, you can think about the learnings from the last 5 years, right? And there has been crucial learnings. So initially, say you had a hypothesis, and thankfully the hypothesis has not changed. It has not changed that much. So the power of mindful thinking is still, the basic concept is same. But the way that we executed it through the exercises, through the workshops, right? Now we know exactly what actually was, in a way, not working versus not working, what was more applicable versus not applicable. And we have now taken all those learnings, right? And that is number one. Number two is that we made the narrative applicable to the Gen Z audience, the younger audience. And there is a third segment here that I really believe, like, I'm a storyteller. So I believe that some of these truths cannot be communicated just by words. So it's like parables and stories. So I was planning to publish a separate book of sort of mindfulness parables. So now I've combined it with this book. So you'll see scattered across this book stories and parables that will actually, you can take a pause in thinking and maybe connect at a deeper level.
So if I say that based on these workshops you have been doing and obviously more practice, a lot of Q&A and feedback in past 5 years after the first book, this is more like an extension.
Correct.
Based on the experiences, the collective experiences, and maybe something more to offer.
Yes.
To, I would say, trainees, to your trainees, right?
Correct.
Whoever train
Exactly.
in mindfulness, right?
So people who have already read Unbox Power of Mindful Thinking, they will also find value in this. And folks who have not seen, definitely, you should definitely try this out. This is I think the feedback for this concept about mindful thinking has been really good for the folks who have read and attended the workshops. It can make a change in your life.
So this is your third book, and second nonfiction. Was it easier to channelize through the agents? I mean, this question is more like the people who are willing to, who are actually authors, and they go through this process. So was it easier to find agent, or it was the same agent, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's a good question, actually. Honestly, the simple answer is better. It becomes easier because you know what to expect. Right?
You know what to expect.
And that is one thing, and then you have already done it twice, so it is faster, right? So to give you an idea, my manuscript was done in January this year, and the books are going to hit the stands in October. All the bookstores.
In October. So it is almost finalized, and it's just we are waiting for.
Yes, final design is there, and basically, you can think about it. This will be a good. Actually, this is the first interview I'm giving for the book.
Very nice.
Right. So,
and we are so glad. Can we reveal like the publishing house and?
Yes, we can do that. So, in fact, I'll send you the cover. You can just put that cover.
We can reveal the cover.
You can reveal the cover
with this interview.
Yeah, we can.
Awesome.
We can do that.
Awesome.
Publication house is Shishti Publications. They are one of the tier 1 publishers in India. So it will be available in all the bookstores, right from the airports to Higginbotham's to Crossroads. This is an India specific release that we are making right now. So I made that conscious choice this time. So I just want to make it more India specific, and then obviously it will be also available through Amazon for international audience. And this is why, because through the workshops I saw a more so to say traction. People are ready in India for this content.
Nice.
So that is, and the youth in India is ready for this content. And I know there's a lot of options too, right? So you see there's a lot of options in India. I don't have to name those options. But you know what we are doing is a more like a heartfelt, experiential stuff, right? It is not something that is coming from a guru. Though I have been in, so to say, sanadhya of a lot of gurus, a lot of enlightened folks. I can say that with conviction, right? So it is not that I made this up. None of these are mine. But only thing is that I'm revealing this. People would have normally spent about 20 years to get this information. Now you get it in a format that is applicable to young readers, right? And I really invite everybody to have a look at the book.
So a very interesting word you used here, and which is information. So friends, information versus knowledge. So Prithvi has spent years and years of his time and gained that knowledge in mindfulness. And he has now ready with that information which you can use to start practicing mindfulness, if I'm saying correctly.
Yes.
And so now let me, so that was a little break, but let me ask this. So is it good for like corporate trainings, and
yes.
is it those?
We will be approaching the channels too, right? Because the book is called Mindful Thinking, like how to take care of your anxiety, boost your productivity, and rewire your thoughts. So now the idea is to your productivity will get boosted, and anxiety is a big thing for the current generation, and all this anxiety and productivity lack of productivity is because the way we think.
Yeah, like person like me who's an overthinker. I am an overthinker. I keep, going to places, pick one thought, and I'm stuck with that thought, and I'll overthink, won't take action, but overthink on something. So is it going to help a person like me?
Exactly. I myself, well, and I mentioned this in this book, right? I myself, because I had a hyperactive mind growing up, to the extent that I used to stammer, and I was if it was today, I would have diagnosed as in the spectrum of ADHD, right? And from there, coming to this point, being able to go beyond that, being able to understand, right? And I was lucky enough to be guided by some real masters. But I put my time. Lab is already there, right? And the experiment, the results, we tried it out in workshops, right? I aligned it with the messages of all the greats, like talking about yoga, Buddha, Vedanta, right? All those messages are aligned. So if somebody has to just do a back check, if somebody is an advanced practitioner, they can also check it out. None of this is misaligned with what the greats have said. But it is said in a way that what are the neurological correlates for meditation? Right? What happens when you do pranayam? Like what type of vagus nerve stimulation? Some of this is more known. Some of these are lesser known. Like some of the kriya techniques, right? So all these techniques have been condensed into like 8 to 9 exercises that you can practice, and there's explanation of not only what to do but why to do, and what the background behind this.
A very interesting question I have, and I was a little reluctant to ask, but I will ask anyway.
Sure.
So I know a little bit of your background, and we have been friends for many years. There's one city in India which has been epitome of Indian culture for many years, from ages. Banaras,
Yes.
Varanasi, Kashi. Though I am from UP, but last year was the first time I visited Banaras, first time in my life, the actual ghats and Banaras. I had been touched and been there in the district, but I have never been to Banaras, right? And Banaras, for some reason, right now is very popular in pop culture in India. The youngsters, the youth, a lot of movies are based in Banaras. They are being shot in Banaras. A lot of books have a background of Banaras. Now, let me ask this. Did Banaras, your childhood you spent in Banaras, did it play any role the way you carved your path in mindfulness? So I have seen the references of Banaras in your fiction book,
Chronicles of
Kali. But with mindfulness, does it play any role?
Yes, absolutely. See, the thing is, Manish, as you rightly said, like it is the oldest living, if not the oldest, one of the oldest living cities in the world. And then if you go to the Ghats, right, I think at a given point of time, there will be at least like 20 to 30, I'm making this number, enlightened people living around that area.
Yeah.
And the aura that it generates, right? And it says that if you have a person, and we won't go into the description of what enlightened is, but let's think about a person who has realized what human beings are really supposed to do, the true essence, the limitless essence. So it actually generates an aura. It goes around miles. And you have tens and 20 of them. I'm being conservative in my estimate. So the type of aura it will generate, it is stilling. It is mind stilling. So that's the reason so many people actually go to all those masters, right? Because just the presence of the master stills their mind. So I've done my engineering from there, from IIT Varanasi 2 point. So I had a good fortune of hanging around in the ghats and getting my mind stilled. So I'm sure that it played a big role in stilling my mind. And some of my initial practices, meditation practices, they started when I was in Banaras.
So Prithvi, we come back to the book again, and you were talking about the time-tested techniques, right? Is it possible to give an example like right here on this podcast?
Sure, I'll be happy to, but I'll definitely encourage everyone to buy the book because there are many more examples there. Yeah. But I'll give one example here. So you know what, the cornerstone of let's say the mindfulness techniques, right? At least the known prescription is what called dhyan or meditation, right? So there is an old Kashmiri Shaivite book called Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. It has like 112 ways of meditation.
Okay.
And the first 4 are breath-based anchoring techniques, which Buddha used. So all the meditation techniques that you can even think about, most of them are there. Now, obviously, all the 112 are not in the book. But what is the so to say the principle behind those meditation techniques? And I want to say that it is broadly the principle, right? There may be some here and there, but broadly speaking, what is the principle? It is something called anchoring. And last time we talked about the thoughts, right? We talk about there are 2 types of thoughts, right? Let me just reiterate this, that we have like 2 types of thought mechanisms in our head. One is called by the default mode network activity, DMN, which is the thought of I, me, myself. It is the mental chatter. And the second one is task positive network activity, where you actually think to solve a problem. So normally the issue that we get is our default mode network is very active, right? The chatter. And it actually, and at a time we can just think one thing. So if I'm solving a problem and my default mode network kicks in, it shuts down my problem solving activity and I go into that. So that is the reason. So I will show you something that the same activity, the same thing using what I used to use in my workshops. And we used to do this using a puppet show. I hope it is not too tacky for your thing. I hope everybody can see this, right? So this is our monkey mind at your attention. So what attention does is likes to grab onto thoughts, right? And as I said, that maybe what it also likes to grab on into these small DMNs. These are naughty default mode network thoughts. So it actually is very good in grabbing thoughts. So as soon as it grabs one, the new one comes in, it will grab in other and then grab in this and grab into other. So what we do is that we use this grabbing tendency of my attention, because it is very good in grabbing, to introduce something called an anchor. So since it is very good at grabbing, if we ask it to grab the anchor, it will grab the anchor, but soon it will go back to the distraction. Mm-hmm. So we can all experientially understand what I'm saying here. Now, one thing that normally we overlook is that when it is grabbing a new thing, it is letting go of this. Now that is our key to success. So every time it goes to this, it actually lets go of the anchor. And vice versa. Every time it actually comes back to the anchor, it is letting go.
Yes.
So if we practice for 20, so think about it like a push-up, that we put an anchor, and every time my thought goes to a distraction, I ask it to go to anchor. It will go back again, go back to anchor. So every time I'm doing it, I'm practicing letting go of this. And this is the key to success in this meditation. So if you do that 20 minutes, so I practice letting go so much that outside my meditation time, when in the normal life, if those things come, I'll be more prepared to let them go. So suddenly some thought came, like some fear came, anxiety came, some jealousy came. I would be able to watch it and let it go, because I had practiced doing that in my meditation mat. So that is the principle behind this. And there are more examples like this.
So now let me ask the most important question. What could be an anchor?
So anchors can be multiple anchors. So I told you Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, 112 meditations. So there are at least 10 to 12 anchors there. So few examples, breath is the most popular anchor.
Yeah. Breathing pattern.
Breathing pattern is the anchor.
Just to monitor that.
Yes. So breathing pattern can be sensations when you are breathing. There's a whole movement that you can use an anchor, right? There are 4 techniques. So you can do an in breath, out breath. You can see the turning of the breath. You can see the sensations here. So there are 4 different techniques depending on what you do. Then you can use a phonetic a mantra as an anchor. right? Which is
You can just focus on Om chanting or
Om.
something like that.
So you bring up Om, right? And that is your anchor, right? And then thought will go here and there. Then you again come back to Om. You can use walking meditation. You can your body sensations as an anchor. You can use taste as an anchor while you're mindful eating. So when you eat something, just focus on the thought goes away. Get it back to the taste. Right. So there are many techniques like this. So
This is a very dangerous technique. I mean, a person like me, can we keep eating?
but once you're mindful, you cannot keep. You won't be able to do that. That is the idea. Once you're mindful, right, you're already aligned, and they're very interesting. So I have a list of anchors also in the book that you can do.
Prithvi, I have another interesting question for you. So, what do you think the biggest misconceptions people have about mindfulness? Because there are a lot of material in this digital age available, and people get confused with meditations versus NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, mindfulness. Is it the same, or they are different, or slightly different? So, what do you think? What is the misconception, and does your book clear those misconceptions?
Yeah, in a way, yes. That is the whole purpose, because this whole book is to demystify mindfulness, right? So demystification, all this you say is part of the demystification. So I can think about two different aspects of the misconceptions, right? And I'm not going into the syntax of it, right? Because mindfulness is more like a Buddhist term. Meditation, dhyan will be. I'm generally talking about a state of silence. Let's talk about it, state of silence, right? And people crave to be in that state of silence where they are not overthinking, where they think when they want to. Not that thoughts don't take over them, but they actually are in control of the thoughts. If we define this aspect. Now there are two misconceptions. One misconception is very difficult and it is very complex. And people have to go and pay to this like week long workshops. And in US, you pay thousands of dollars to attend this big seminars and get to know about some very esoteric secret. These secrets have been out there. Correct. The thing is that what are those secrets? Getting that idea. It is a very simple thing. I told you about the anchoring techniques. That is, if you know this, you know 50% of what is there in the syllabus. So that is one misconception. The second misconception is that if you practice mindfulness, you'll become a Baba or something like that. You become a Babaji and you'll go to Himalayas. Right, so people have this misconception. Oh, this guy meditates. Oh God, okay, so he's going to. So that is I think the most dangerous misconception, right? So because of that, what you are doing is that you are not equipping yourself with the tools that you require to counter the attention harvesting regime that is in place, right? And you actually laying up your arms to them, which will be a misfortune. Right, everybody, the people who are growing up with smartphones will have. I know they'll all have to go to a therapy. Right? At least if they read this book now, there'll be at least a small percentage of them who can be the leads and actually help their cohorts. Yeah. Right, it is an easy thing, and it is required for us. It is required us for peak productivity. I told you the default mode network and task positive network. Mm-hmm. As simple as this. Like, we want to do stuff done. We want to get and if we get stuff done better, then I'll be more successful in my career. And I'm not able to get it done because of the mental chatter. So I need meditation to become successful in my career. And everybody is realizing it. And India is a cradle of mindfulness, meditation, dhyan, called Antarkaran. The Antarkaran is the inner world secrets. And I think at least the youth of India everybody should know it. It should be part of the syllabus, I think.
Amazing. And yeah, I mean, like you have a health class in your school. Yeah. You have, some, I remember during my day, we used to have Vedic Ganit, which, I did not use it. But I would say, classes on mindfulness should be part of the curriculum, because brain is also part of your body and you need to take care of it, keep it healthy. And I think mindfulness keeps your brain healthy. there are ways to keep it sharpened, but to keep it healthy is very important.
Correct. And brain is basically, it is the hardware, right? I'm saying that hardware is there. Now the software on the brain is a gross thing, right? And what is running the software? So Indians, we had a lot of time at our hands, all our ancient sages, right? They thousands of years ago, they said, okay, there is a software, and software, they said there are multiple classes of software. They call man, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. Right, so you have different classes. So, and that's the reason, if you see in the book, I've tried to actually map that man, buddhi, chit, ahankar in contemporary terms. Like I call it a thought factory. So your thoughts are getting generated in a factory. Do you want to get into that factory and see what is happening? You'll see man, buddhi, chit, ahankar in the context term. So what do they mean in current context term, right? So there's a thought generator, for example. There are old impressions, for example, right? Which what we call conditionings. So these are all players into this. There are old judgments that determine my new judgments, which becomes my ego, which becomes an illusory ego. So things like this, these are all very deep concepts that is very difficult to find, actually. They are deep Vedantic concepts. So, but you know what? If you have time, if you go and sit with some real good guru for a long time, you'll get to know about it. And I was lucky enough to actually have at least 3 of them.
Very nice. So Prithvi, we are coming towards the end of our show, and I have so many things I think I have to do, probably 2-3 episodes, or maybe we can start a YouTube tutorial on mindfulness where people can actually learn and practice with you, right? That's a good.
We can definitely do that.
We can do that,
right? We can do that, yeah.
Okay. So now the question I have is your fiction book, Chronicles of Kali. It's a mixture of, I would say, technology, obviously mythology, technology, and mindfulness. Do you think the storytelling plays a major role in mindfulness practice or coaching?
Yes, I think so. I think so because what happens is, see, the whole purpose here is to still your thoughts. Mm-hmm. The whole purpose, I think silence is basically the if you talk about the central teaching of all spiritual practices is, okay, how can you still my thoughts? Because if I can still my thoughts, chitta vitti nirodha, if I can see the ripples of my mind, I can see the reality of who I am. That is basically that is Vedantic teaching. Who I am, that I am not the object, I am the subject, right? So now where the story come into this? So story actually throws us from our usual chain of thinking, and especially if it is a parable story and things like that, right? Then you talk about haikus, you talk about koans, you talk about parables, where you actually all complex concepts are taught by very simple stories. Even Shankaracharya used simple stories. Like, in fact, I've actually adapted one in the book.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it's called the 10th man, to point to who you really are. So yes, the stories are important, and that's the reason why I chose Kali, and I chose basically I had no choice. I told you I was inspired to write that book, and so I find stories definitely, and I have a lot of stories scattered around in the book here to reinforce the concepts that we built. So that is the answer.
So do we have a story?
Yeah, actually I have one. So now I don't have the printed book. So I have the design copy just came in today. So I'll just share one of the shorter stories in this. Yeah, so they are trying to convey something that is beyond the word, basically, right? So it starts off with an introduction. Stories can throw us off our usual chain of thoughts and engage us at a deeper level of understanding. How about a story about the big picture that we often miss because of limited thinking? The story is called the Oak Tree and the Chipmunk. The oak tree stood at the edge of a green meadow, its branches sprawling wide, a sentinel watching over the land. Beyond that, a golden cornfield shimmered in the sun, a perfect contrast to the soft green of the grass. A narrow dirt path meandered between the meadow and the field, stretching endlessly towards the horizon where the earth kissed the sky. Today, however, the oak tree was not watching the horizon. It was sad. For yet again, the chipmunk had stolen its acorns. The small creature had been scurrying tirelessly, darting across the meadow path and the field, burying its tiny treasures in secret. Each hole was a mystery, a mark left on the land that only the chipmunk understood. Stop! The oak tree rustled, its patience finally ending. At least leave a few acorns. The chipmunk froze mid-hop. It looked up, its nose twitching, its dark, shiny eyes searching for the voice. "It's me," the tree said, its voice carried by the breeze. The oak tree. The chipmunk's gaze locked into the massive trunk, its tiny head tilting in curiosity. "I work so hard," the tree lamented. "Every year I stretch my branches higher and make my canopy broader so that I can protect my seeds. I dream that one day one of my acorns will grow into another tree, someone to stand beside me. Yes, yet you take them all." The chipmunk let the acorn slip from his paws and land softly on the ground. Its whiskers quivered and a smirk appeared across its face. "You think your seeds will grow under your shade?" it asked, its voice light and mischievous. The tree swayed, unsure how to answer. "You think making your branches bigger and your shade thicker will protect them?" The chipmunk continued, its bright eyes glinting with playful challenge. The oak leaves trembled faintly, its pride trying to hide within his rustling. "And my silly little habit of burying your seed far from your shadow makes you sad." The tree shook slightly, its anger rustling through the leaves. "What can I say?" the chipmunk said with a shrug. "You are foolish." It picked up the fallen acorn and hopped away along the path. On the other side of the meadow, the chipmunk paused. It dug a hole deep and deliberate and nestled the acorn within. It then sat up, its gaze falling on the tiny saplings rising from the soil, young oaks, fragile but alive, the leaves trembling in the wind. The chipmunk smiled, and though the oak tree could not see them, the saplings swayed gently in the breeze, whispering the promise of companionship.
Ah, very interesting.
So essentially, there's some things that we cannot see, right? You have to have faith, right? And I think one of the important pieces is also we have to have silence.
You have to have a silence. Yeah. Silence around us is one thing, but mental silence.
Mental silence. Yes, mental silence. That is all I know. Silence around me will never happen.
Yeah, I think we are stuck in the same situation as far as we are here as human beings.
And raising kids.
Yes, raising kids,
pets.
and unless we are, somewhere far, far away.
Correct.
In woods of Maine.
And that is exactly, we should not, basically, that is the idea. The silence is within, right? So that's what Krishna taught Arjun, right? Silence in the middle of battlefield.
So I have one last question for you. If you have to explain your upcoming book, the essence of the book in one sentence, what would you say?
One sentence, okay, that is tough one, but I'll try. I think the easiest, the first thing that comes to mind is learn to think only when you want to. It will liberate. It will be liberating.
Interesting. Only when you want to. Very nice. Yeah, it made this sentence itself is made me curious to go through the book, and I can't wait. And I hope, as you said, October. And I'll be looking forward, and I'll be in India in October.
Oh wow, the Vegan Court. Yeah, it's one of the events. Probably you can be a guest there. Right?
Yes. If it is around that time.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And I would love to pick the book from airport, and I will pose with the book.
Oh, very nice.
In the airport.
So nice of you.
Yeah. So Prithvi, again, thank you so much for stopping by, and this is what we do. Just bring people, our audience, closer to literature. Hindi, English, Urdu, but we also do this, interview authors, take their perspective, and try to learn something from them.
And thank you for having me over. And in fact, a really commendable initiative, right? So building the awareness. And anytime you need, if you want to conduct a workshop, I know you have a lot of other authors, right? To share our experiences to upcoming writers in like how to approach the publishing process, how to go through it. We talked about it briefly last time.
Yeah.
But I'll be more than happy to participate in that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And friends, if you think, what we have been doing is interesting and it's worth your time, so please subscribe us and do not forget to share this episode with your friends and people who have a lot of mental chatter and they have ADHD, they are overthinkers, and they are procrastinators like me. This episode is going to help them. Thank you so much. Thank you, Prithvi.
Thank you.